Hi, these comments are for a student who sent me a writing practice test yesterday. This is my free writing practice test evaluation service. I am Michael Buckoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and I am getting ready to read and score your writing practice test. I actually have the IBT writing rubrics right here. I'm getting ready to score it using these rubrics. And let's take a look at the essay here. So I read everything, and the first step is I want to see what Microsoft Word thinks of it first. And I've already read it. I'm guessing probably between 22 and 24 points. I think that's actually my guess right now. Okay, let me take a look. I'm going to do a quick review here, see what we're looking at right now. So your editor's score here is 87%. You do have some grammar errors in there. I'm going to point out 3 in just a minute. The most important thing is the document stats. This helps me understand a little bit about your vocabulary. So I have good and bad news here. Your vocabulary is not bad. It's at your characters per word is 4.8. Your goal is to get that closer to 5.0. That means that the average number of characters or letters per word is 5 or higher. You're almost there. Your words per sentence is 20.7. You want to get that closer to 25 to 26. Your grade level right now is 11.3. So I think it's better if you get that closer to 13 or 14 based on my experience. I think that does make a difference in how E-Rater, ETS's artificial scoring engine, looks at your writing. Okay, here's the actual essay itself. So you wrote roughly 376 words. I recommend that you get closer to 450 to 550 words on that. Now, how would you do that? I think the first step is to expand the introduction to about 100 words. And instead of saying there are several reasons why I feel this way, which I will explore in the following essay, I would get rid of that particular thesis statement. So let me show you this. I'm guessing that you got this from TOEFL Resources, right? Let me see. So I'm going to take that thesis and put it in direct quotes. You see what I'm saying? So I get 8 results here. So my guess is you took that thesis actually from this particular website, TOEFLResources.com. I wouldn't do that. So that's not a good idea. You need to come up with original sentences, not copy them from somewhere else. You said here, my personal experience is a compelling illustration of this. I'm guessing that you also took this from TOEFLResources.com, right? Now, TOEFL Resources is giving you some examples on how you can organize your writing, but I would not copy the sentences directly. And saying this sentence is really ridiculous. It doesn't do anything. It's you see what I'm saying? This is exactly from TOEFL Resources. But why use all of that? We can just say, for example. When you say example, that is your personal experience, right? So I don't even think it's needed. So be careful that you're not copying or using templates from websites on the internet. If I recognize these sentences, do you think that the TOEFL IBT human raters, they read for 3 hours, 4 hours in the morning and the afternoon? You don't think they're going to come across exactly these same sentences? Of course they are. So it's not going to look good for you because it's not going to look original. It's going to look like you're memorizing sentences from the internet, and that does not demonstrate writing proficiency. So get rid of this. And instead of using this particular sentence, use a thesis that actually mentions the key points in the topics of your body paragraphs, right? So, and also get rid of the other one, my personal experience is a compelling illustration of that. That doesn't work. Okay, so I think you can improve the intro and your thesis, as I've already said. Now, you also have some problems with your language use. Let me point out at least two examples of that. You said here, I didn't realize the difference between the actual world and cartoons until I broke my left leg. And what I would do here, in order to make this sentence work, you have to put that coordinated conjunction in there to create what we call a compound complex sentence. So, and because of that, and then you said a fall down, you're having some problems controlling your verb tenses. I fell down from the place that I climbed. So be consistent with your verb tenses. Right? We got one more thing I'm going to point out. Now, there's more errors than that, but I just want to point out that you are having some problems with your language use. Now, we go to the next paragraph. You say, for instance, my cousin Bill was a TV addict, and he was spending nearly all of his useful time to watch films and sitcoms. I'm going to change this to watching. So it's difficult, but how do we know whether to use infinitives or gerunds in our writing? And what gives me the key here, you said that he was spending nearly all his time. So because you're using what's called the past progressive verb tense here, you're talking about an action that was completed in the past. It is common to use gerunds to talk about past completed actions. And it's common for infinitives to use them to talk about potential actions. Now, this rule that I'm telling you here, it doesn't work all the time. These are very complicated aspects of English grammar, but it is a rule that you can apply in some situations and in this situation. So it would be better to say he was spending all his time watching films and sitcoms as opposed to watch films and sitcoms. Okay, so I think also what you can do here is if you expand the intro to 100 and then you get each of these body paragraphs, I think, to about 150 words, and this one's pretty close. That's 143. This one is about I think 122. Get this one closer to 150. I think that's going to give you 304. That's going to be a little over maybe 450 words, and I think that's pretty close. It shows you that you can develop a topic with some detail. Okay, so I like the examples you gave, by the way, in those two paragraphs. They were concrete examples to help illustrate the ideas that you were trying to put forth there. Okay, now the question is, what is your score here? I mean, I'm looking at the rubrics right here. Let me look at the three here. Addresses a topic using somewhat developed explanations and details. I'm thinking maybe a high 3. I think right here, maybe this idea here, you have unity, progression, and coherence. You probably could have done better with the thesis, as I said. You have some inconsistent facility in sentence formation, and the fact that your sentences and your vocabulary are a little bit low according to Microsoft, right? So I think you need to get your sentences closer to 25, so maybe some limited range of sentence structures and vocabulary. So I see you right now as scoring between 22 and 24 points. That's where I would put you right now. All right? And thank you for doing the practice test. If you have more questions, you'll notice in the email, I actually have Zoom office hours. Next week, if you want to come in to talk to me, you can come in. I think it's on Monday or Tuesdays around 12 to 12:50 p.m. And you might talk to me if you're interested in some of my services. I have two kinds of services in my websites. I offer self-study online TOEFL courses. I have, I think, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 12-month TOEFL courses that you can take. I have a TOEFL speaking boot camp, a TOEFL writing boot camp course you can take, right? Now, these are all self-study courses. Now, some students, they want to meet with me in real time, kind of like using Zoom like I'm using right now. We just pop in the meeting together. Either we do accent reduction and speaking practice, or typically I would do writing practice. And with the writing, what you do if we do a private lesson with the writing is you'll show up to the meeting, and before the meeting you're going to email me a writing practice that you completed, and during the meeting I'm going to go over that practice test with you. I will make all the necessary corrections. I will develop your essay more if it needs to. I'll make it more organized. I will show you everything that you need to do in order to improve your writing, and I'll even pinpoint specific writing issues and then show you what lessons in my online course you can study to address those issues. All right, so if you're interested in that, you can just come by during my Zoom office hours on Monday or Tuesday. You do not need to make an appointment. You can simply show up at your convenience, but during the time slot of 12 to 12:50. This is California time in the United States. And thank you for completing this practice test.